Well, good morning. It's a pretty morning here. The sun's starting to come up. Murray's waking up. And I'm doing this video in a response to a lot of videos about bearded dragons and what tank size they need. Now, I've talked to people who have rescues and very knowledgeable people in a local reptile store here, not a box chain store, but a regular one, and they said, you know, it's really hard to get the lighting and the heat right in a larger tank. They're fine in a 40-gallon tank if you take them out regularly and if they have, you know, what they need in that tank, if they seem happy. Not that they said, you know, don't ever get a bigger tank. They were just warning, you know, it can be really hard to get things right. Now, the reason I did upgrade Murray's tank, he seemed like something was wrong, and he was acting strangely, about 2 years old, or 2.5 years old, and I changed out his UVB light, and within 5 minutes he came out of his hide, and he turned bright orange, and he seemed really happy, and he jumped up in his little hammock and looked out the window like normal. And I thought, okay, what do I need to do to improve his UVB lighting? Because I thought, well, now that I've found a group online that is run by the people who helped develop the lighting, I think it's just called Reptile Lighting on Facebook. Now, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I got a lot of information from that group. And they're really good about answering, you know, here's the size of my tank, what kind of bulb do I need? And it was really, really helpful. But they did say that what I have in this tank right now, which is about to be upgraded, they said, you know, a 2-foot, you know, they go by the fixture size. It's a 2-foot tube T8 10.0 Reptisun. You know, that's what they said, you know, that's perfectly fine. One thing I did get that I showed in another video was a UVB tester. And I tested the lights once I got the new tank, and I made sure everything was good, and it was great. It was within the range of 3 to 7, you know, on the scale that you want it to be on. Ferguson scale, that's what it's called. So I spent money and I got a critter condo from DIY Cages, and it's very, very nice. And I'll even show you. And I do have it in another video. Now, it's not lit up, but I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work on this. I got the light fixture up there. I had another fixture that I've since taken down to test in the smaller tank, and that came with it. That's why I got this. But I did a review of this tank before, and I had suction cups, you know, as the door handles, because I didn't attach what it had. But let me tell you, for the couple of months that I had Murray in the tank, he seemed miserable. Maybe not every second, but he eventually just went in his hide and did not seem happy. Now, it's winter time. He's 2.5 years old. You know, there's you know, he's brumating somewhat. However, if you're going to upgrade a tank, do it within the first year. 2.5-year-old reptile, you know, bearded dragons do need enrichment. They really, really do. They're smarter. I'm not gonna say they're very, very smart, but they're smarter than I expected. And they do communicate. But one thing about Murray's life, he has always been, and if you see this, there's a window. And no, the sun doesn't shine directly in his tank and heat it up. I'm home all the time. I pull the curtains, I move them back. You know, I'm always monitoring, but every house has windows where, you know, you can choose a window that the sun isn't beaming in all day long. So when people say, oh, don't ever put a tank by a window, well, it depends on the window. It depends on a lot of things. People are very critical these days. They're very quick to argue, and it's good to not listen. But when I first put up a picture of my tank in the reptile lighting forum, you know, a Facebook group, so many people were so incredibly insulting about this tank. You know, just not knowing anything about me, not asking anything. They're just, you know, they were just horribly rude. And I thought, well, let me look into upgrading a tank. So I found this critter condo. It was on eBay. Very nice tank, but it's not cheap. I spent several $100s on this, and only to find out that Murray hated it. And you know why he hated it? It wasn't because it was too big or weird. I set it up with the same pattern. He didn't have his window to look out. That's all he was trying to do, was look out the window. And I put him back in here the other day. He immediately jumps up and turns bright orange, the prettiest orange I've ever seen him, display. And then he turned around to watch me, because as you can see, this is my workspace. I'm here most of the time, right next to him. That's what he was used to. So when people say, no, bearded dragons can't survive in a smaller tank, well, don't leave them in there all day long. If they're comfortable in there and they're over a year old and you want to do something to upgrade, then do more with them outside the tank or something. But be very, very careful if you do, and they're used to getting a certain kind of entertainment through the day or a certain kind of enrichment. It's not all about the layout of the hide and the hammock and the lights. It's not all about that, because I did that. It's about what are they used to watching. You could put a tank in a new room, but if nobody's ever in that room and they're used to watching you all day, they're not going to be happy. So I'm really tired of seeing these videos, and I saw one just the other day. A guy who does know a lot about reptiles, but he does the shaming thing about the size of tanks, and I'm really, really tired of that. I've made a lot of mistakes with this, and it's based on people that they want to sell you the thing. I did put a link up to the critter condo. I don't make money off of that one. I do have Amazon affiliate links, but I'll tell you something. If I've discovered that something isn't good, I'm not going to put that link up there. So before you go spend a ton of money on a new condo or a new tank or a gigantic, there's a lot of them out there, and they're so overpriced. If you're not going to make one yourself, you're going to be spending a lot of money. Just do it before they're fully grown, so they don't get used to whatever they're in the scenario that they're in. Do it when they're young, or just make sure that it's in the same, all they've got is what they can watch out of their tank. So if they're going to be in another tank and they're going to be bored all day, they do need enrichment. So just consider that when you're shopping around. You're going to probably buy things that they hate, like a water bowl or a hide or a hammock. And pay attention, because they're going to communicate that to you. They really do. The more you pay attention, the more they communicate, because they know this big monkey is watching me and trying to respond. That's what they're going to know. Because to them, we're the big ape. We're the big monkey. So, just reconsider. I'll tell you something. I'm thinking, what do I do with this? I'm not going to get rid of it, because when Murray's older, I may try it again and it may work out a little better. He may get tired of the all-glass tank. I might get another reptile. I don't know. Yeah, we see you. They hear me talking, so they all gather. Just think about it before you go spend a bunch of money on one of these tanks due to people shaming you online. Because I've had plenty of people that did animal rescues for years and years and years, and they say, it's perfectly fine. If they say it's perfectly fine and they don't shame you into spending $400 on some big thing that they get money for, that's kind of a sign. And maybe I should have listened, but I was curious. I might have done it anyway, and honestly, I thought about it for a year. I don't have a lot of extra money, so that wasn't good. I'm really regretting that, but what can you do? So yeah, I would say if you're going to do it early, and it's not all about the positioning of their stuff, make sure they still have the entertainment that they need, give them time to get used to it. It's not as cut and dry as you think. And no, I would never suggest that it's fully necessary, because look at him, he curls up in his hide. Now, I did get the biggest hide you can get. That I would recommend. Make sure they have a hide that can fit in. But don't feel pressured to get these big cages. Don't listen to people that don't know you. They don't know your home. They don't know how your reptile has grown up, what they're used to. You know, just do the best thing for you and your setup and your animal. You know what's best. You know what's best. So with that, I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm not putting any affiliate links on here. This is just my review. Just be careful. Be very, very careful. Murray, he's about to come out. He's about to come out and come right up there again and watch the world. He likes watching my dogs and chickens outside. That's what he's done for the last 2.5 years of his life. And he's going to keep doing that. If I can get a big cage that was all glass and I put it on this little table here, that probably would have worked out, but those were even more expensive. And maybe I wouldn't be able to heat it right. I don't know. So, good luck to you. Just really think about it before you spend all that money. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a comment if you want. If you hate this, if you're mad, let me know. If you love it, let me know. Or subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more videos like this. I'll definitely let you know when I fail. Have a good day.